The most beautiful short stories about optimism. The most beautiful short stories about optimism.
Optimism is the secret of success. Despite the difficulty of the school subjects, Muhammad had no doubt that he would succeed and achieve what he wanted. He would hear words of pessimism from his friends and feel great annoyance because they were pouring in negative energy and saying many words that were not appropriate for the optimistic psyche. That is why Muhammad did not listen to them and did not stop. To the laziness, lethargy, and despair that used to dwell in the hearts of everyone, because he knows very well between himself and himself that optimism is the path to success, and it is the way of the honorable prophets. Optimism is the approach of successful people who think of God as all good, who do not expect anything but good, and keep a permanent hope that dwells in their souls, and they never try to sow pessimism in others, or increase complaints, from which there is no benefit, and all of this gave a lesson to Muhammad so that he would not be afraid of exams on the first day of the exams. He entered the examination hall with determination, hope, optimism and steadfastness, and was determined to do everything in his power to succeed and remained optimistic that he would be among the superior. After the results appeared, Muhammad's result was the best result ever, and all the colleagues' ridicule of his optimism was in vain, because he surpassed them, and, while he maintained his optimism, composure, and expectation for the best, he got what he expected, which was excellence and success, and his colleagues got what they expected. It is a failure and a fall. A person can create hope and optimism for himself by thinking well of his Lord.
2. Optimism makes life. In one of the cities, a young man was living with his family very happily. He held a prominent position and was always developing in his work. He was on the verge of life, had many aspirations and hopes, and had a spirit of optimism and fun, which is why he always kept a beautiful smile that everyone loved. One day, the young man felt some tiring symptoms that forced him to take leave from work. And the young man thought that these symptoms would go away automatically, and that what he felt was a cold or flu, but the disease continued to intensify until he had to go to the doctor. As soon as he explained the symptoms to the doctor suspected a disease, but he was not certain that the young man was infected with the disease, except after asking him to conduct some tests. When the young man went to the doctor and showed him the results of the tests, the shocking news was waiting for him. The young man has leukemia and must start chemotherapy immediately. The doctor told him that he was in an advanced stage of the disease and might not have much time to live. Despite what the doctor told the young man, despite the looks of pity that people used to look at him while they expected his death at any moment, he maintained a spirit of optimism and decided to undergo treatment and try it, no matter how difficult the circumstances were. Because God's will is above everything. Indeed, after several months of treatment, Shabab was completely cured, and his optimism about recovery was realized. The moral of this story is one sentence: he is optimistic that what he wants will be achieved.
3. Optimism is the secret of happiness. On one of the beautiful farms lived an energetic farmer who cultivated his land at the beginning of each season and preserves it from everything. And he sprays the crops with pesticides and protects them from rodents and thieves. In one of the seasons, the rain was delayed so much that he called all the farmers who owned a nearby farm the active farmer to refrain from cultivating their land because they were sure that the crops would not grow and all would die and that the rain would not come. But the energetic farmer plowed and sowed his land and remained optimistic that the rain would surely fall soon, and that the crops would grow and reap their fruits, and he would never lose, and his land would become green. The farmer kept praying to God that it would rain and that his labor would not be in vain. And he was sure that his optimism, that the rain would come, would not be disappointed. In the midst of all this, the energetic farmer woke up to the most beautiful sound he had been waiting for impatiently, which was the sound of rain. Indeed, the rain finally fell and watered the crops, and the land turned green and was filled with fruits, flowers, and a beautiful green color. The optimism was very sincere. All the mud farmers regretted not cultivating their land and learned from the active farmer to always be optimistic, no matter the circumstances.